Greetings to you all, and welcome back to Let's Play the Langrisser. So it seems that Leon is going to go and talk to Lady Eliza about Vargas's demise. He's a very good chap, he's going to get that done. And that's great, because that means that for us we only have to deal with lead. And there's Leon's angry face. It looks less impressive than everyone else's angry faces, but still distinctly angry. Alright, alright. Anyway, thus ends a mission, so next, hopefully, we'll be going to Castle Baldia. No certainty on that, but here's hoping. Level ups all around. It's very nice. That's kind of odd, Cherie, for you to say that, given that your stat build is entirely offensive, as much attack as is humanly possible. It seems you rather enjoy the taste of battle, but there we go. But yes, we can't care too deeply about our enemies. After all, they're after the sword for evil reasons, and we're after the sword for good reasons. So we have to stop them, we have to get the sword ourselves. So long as we get Langrisser, that will help. It will help greatly. But let's not be mistaken into thinking that getting Langrisser means job well done. Bat packs all round. Because that's not the way it is. Remember, they have the Dark Rod and they want to release some kind of dark evil sword. The Alhazard, I believe it was called. Now, that's the big problem. We need to get Langrisser to help us combat that. So, you may have guessed that this is not going to be the last level, not by a long shot. But it is very important we get this sword. It's very important we get the Holy Blade, because without the Holy Blade, then we don't stand a chance against the Evil Blade. And there was the castle after all. We just forged a bit of the ocean. And my god, it's in the middle of a lake. What a weird place. Yes, they did. It was a good time to be alive. Okay, I see, so the sword is going to be somewhere in the middle of the castle. Apparently Leon is going to be there, he's already arrived, and Leon wants to get the sword for himself, so we need to make sure that does not happen. By killing everyone, or obtaining the sword. That's another if-or condition. That's probably not the right term, but there we go, if-or condition. We can either kill everything, or we can pick up the sword. We lose if we die, or if Leon gets the sword. I don't know why that is. I mean, I would have thought that if Leon did pick up the sword, if we then immediately slaughtered him, we could just retrieve the sword from his corpse, but apparently not. We have to out and out prevent him from getting it. Now, that looks like all of our spawn points down there in the bottom right, and there's the enemies. Is that lead? Yes, it's lead. So these are the forces. They've classed up quite a bit. We've got Serpent Knight, higher level than Lester. Mages, that's a third level of Magician, that's the same as Hane. High Lords, it's the same as Aaron. Yeah, everyone's really classed up here, really getting a lot more powerful. Not that many in number though, but no Leon, so he'll be turning up. And that's not a guess, that's a certainty, because... oh, hello. Still only Hawk Lords. Yes, that's a certainty, because the mission objective was to stop Leon from reaching the sword. There he is. What a very nice sword that is. We have to prevent Leon from reaching the sword, so it's obvious he's going to turn up. Presumably he's just talking to Eliza at the moment, and he will be here shortly. Good to see he's got his priorities sorted. Now, we have to acquire the sword. Not everyone can pick up the sword. I did not press that button. Only the descendants of lights may pick up the sword. Now, you have been given sort of clues as to who the descendants of lights are. I don't know if perhaps the level would tell us as we start the dialogue, but I'm going to tell you now anyway. Erwin, he's going there, and will be darting for the sword, is a descendant of light. We know this because of his fancy looking tiara headband thingy. Jessica spoke about it before. It's very handy. He's going to be charging up there with some bandits. That's probably a terrible choice, because Leon's going to be going for it, and he's a horseman. He's going to be charging up there with pikemen. Go on, Erwin. Now then, the other people. Hane is not a descendant. Cherie is. You can tell that Cherie is because she is a princess from the people of Kalzath, which are descendants from Baldia. and she is actually a princess. So yes, she's a descendant. Liana is. You're not told that Liana is, but the Imperial Army was very keen to get a hold of her, and that's the reason why. She has this descended blood, very important. You could take probably a pretty good guess that Liana would be a descendant of light, but it's not a certain thing. Keith isn't, he just protects Cherie. Lester isn't, he just protects Jessica, and Aaron just taught Cherie. So nobody else can do it, just these three. As far as troop goes, we're going to be getting some ballistas for Hayne, and shoving him there, that will do. Cherie, we're going to need bandits. Now the reason she's getting bandits, as I shall demonstrate, which I cannot demonstrate. Alright, hang on a second, there we go. The reason we're getting bandits is for these sneaky fellows. They are phalanx. Now we don't like the phalanx, they're very irritating to kill, and you need to kill them with footman type units, such as bandits. If we had grenadiers, I'd be getting those, and they'd be very helpful, but we don't, so bandits will have to get the job done. I'm on Liana, aren't I? I'll put her right at the back. And we will get her... We're actually going to let her step up her units to Crusaders. We'll get to see those in action at long last. Keith, same as always, he gets the worst spawn point because of his superior move speed, and he gets Mass Angels because they're amazing. Now then, Lester, there is plenty of water and the enemy has many sea commanders. Going to be important that Lester does well in this fight, but he does have the better units, so hopefully he'll do pretty good there. We'll dump him here because it's close to the water. Aaron is going to have to carry the phalanx because it's basically the only decent unit he's got, but it's also imperative against Laird, who, if you didn't notice, had a full battalion of Royal Lancers, the very evil horsemen. Now we shall remember to equip Aaron with some items. Yes, we shall. We're going to equip him with a long sword, which you'll like very much. And that plate mail that we bought for Lester, but he didn't know quite how to put it on, so he just stuck with his chainmail. We're going to give him that. We could give him the necklace for even more defense, but we're not going to. So there we go. He's got the plate mail, that's +4 defense. Not going to bother to sell anything just yet because we're still loaded. Items. There is one curious item here. It is the Swift Boots. That is purely there to help you run to the Langrisser. And I'm still in two minds of whether I should call this sword the Langrisser or Der Langrisser. I am aware that Der is just German for the, but there we go, I'm not sure what to say. Anyway, we shall saute to victory without saving the game, and probably have dialogue explaining everything I just explained. Well, there's a girl. Ah, it's Eliza. I'm with you. Go on then, Leon, come on. Riding your horse straight through her house, you can't be pleased. At least Eliza does have a different portrait then. I was a little concerned at quite the quantity of advances we've seen throughout the game, but there we go. Eliza does get her own portrait, and there is a baby there. It's very nice. Ah, you failure of a woman, you have produced the wrong offspring. The sad and somber music they like to play is exactly the same music as we had when we were versus the programming staff. Quite odd. But there we go. We can't decide what music they play when and where. He didn't just fall, did he, Leon? He more kind of exploded into thousands of flaming, blooding gips. But that's how most people go in this world, so I suppose death means that to these people. His last moments were spent blindly charging at a red-headed man for no apparent reason. But yes, it is rather sad, isn't it? We have to go through this for Vargas, but I don't mind it. I think it's a good touch to the game to show that these soldiers have lives that we don't necessarily see. And Eliza gets a portrait here while the units are deployed on the map. She looks identically like Jessica, but she's gone now. Alright, lads, stop being confused. This is a great plan by Laird. They're going to go and get the sword. However, not Laird nor any of his units are capable of actually picking the damn thing up. So I'm not sure what Laird was planning with this. Maybe he just wants to secure the area. I'm not sure. So it's going to be a rather large battle happening on the land between nearly all of the units. Then Keith and Lester, they're going to break in and try to overpower the naval units, whilst Erwin makes a mad dash for the sword. Now the problem I have just noticed, and I didn't really pay attention to, is that I have no units to handle the flyers. Angels aren't bad, so maybe Keith will have to go and assist Erwin, because I don't think his pikemen are going to be much cop against them. Here we go, Hayne. Nice explanation. Okay, the game now bluntly tells you Liana. But no implication that Liana actually had anything to do with anything up to now. But Lester seems to be fully aware of the fact that she's a descendant of light, mentions it loosely, and nobody even pays any attention to it. Alright, that's not odd in the slightest. No, of course it's not. Good grief, it's going to take a long time to get over this bridge. So I suppose all of that mass of water was supposed to be a moat of some kind. Very nice. But it's really going to slow down our progress. We can walk in that rubble-type water. It's just, well, the water slows us down, so it takes quite a while. Well, there's nothing we can do about that. I mean, we have to cross the water at some point. Now, there is perhaps an easy way to do this level, if all you care about in the game is this level. Or perhaps entirely by chance. If you still had Cherie as a flyer, maybe you were taking her full hog and you were going to make her a dragon knight and all sorts of fancy things like that, then Cherie can very easily just fly up to the sword and grab it. It's not a bad plan, it will get the level done nice and quick, but the experience, you're missing out on all the mighty experience, don't do it. Now I do wonder if anyone out there is listening to this music and going, that's a bit familiar. Yes, it is. This music is a remix of music taken from Warsong, which was the prequel to this game. So yes, you may be familiar with this music, and you may not. There we go. This is the music that played when you were at this castle in that game. Yes, this castle's come back from the past. Very important place. Now, there is one more oddity on this level, which I shall mention when we get to it. That I do remember from my previous playthrough. But as I said, we shall leave that until when we get there. It's handy, but it's not crucial by any means. If we don't see it, I'll just tell you what it was and not do it anyway. It's not an optional level if you're whetting your appetites. It is just a little secret hidden on the ground in one of the tiles, which we shall get if we can. It's quite handy. Now there are many secrets hidden in many tiles on many levels, just I don't know where they are. I'm sure if you went on the internet and found a nice walkthrough or a nice guide, you'd find out where every single hidden tile is in the whole game. But I'm just playing through the game, I'm not here to get every single advantage I could possibly imagine, because the game would be too easy. So I'm just running with the ones I can remember. Most of them are signalled in some way. This one is. Feel free to try to find it. It's kind of a boring game, but there you go. If you're that bored, you have something to do now, don't you? But I'll be trying to demonstrate it myself. Anyway, we shall just finish moving all of these units, and then we shall call it a video. But I shall not make the mistake I always make, and I shall get my summonings done now. I'm going to get a Freya, because it's going to be a tightly fought fight, and I reckon healing is going to be the order of the day, especially against spellcasters. So we should get a Freya up nice and quickly, because they're always incredibly powerful. Whatever summoning's incredibly powerful, so you should always get one of the two up. And I shall call it a video. Hopefully you'll join me next time, and this fight should be getting underway. I shall see you then.